Hola class. This is Tico Trey, your teacher. And this video is going to be a satirical video about the silver lining to the COVID virus in the lockdown. This is going to be to all my blue pill simps and beta orbiters and manginas and all these other great people who still practice in the dating market, participate in the dating market. And this video is going to be about the silver lining to COVID virus while dating. Let's get started, class. Everybody take their seats. The silver lining to dating during the pandemic is it's going to be cheap as hell. So you ain't got to open your wallet too wide, because most of the expensive restaurants are pretty much closed, even if they got pickup. A lot of them don't even have pickup no more. They're pretty much just closed until further notice. Whereas all the cheaper restaurants are still open and active, which is actually pretty funny. I'm gonna get into that. And this is for people who aren't in like complete lockdown states. These are the people who are like, who got restaurants still open that you got to do carry out and shit like that. The neat thing about those restaurants that have carry out is a lot of those restaurants that have carry out are very cheap, or middle of the road to cheap restaurants for the most part. So you can go pick up a meal for cheap and then take it over to your date and have a date like that. Because at the end of the day, you ain't doing shit any damn way. You got to keep social distance any damn way. So it's not like it really matters. And if you are quarantining, you're probably going to go visit somebody for a short period of time and you want to get the hell up out of there. Especially if you live in a state that has like a curfew. So you're not going to be spending a whole lot of time with that person. So the neat thing about curfew, if you cut it close to curfew time, you ain't got to worry about spending more money for the fact that you got to take your ass home anyway. So therefore, she can't have you open your pocketbook any any wider for the fact that you got to go home anyway. Upside to that. Another neat thing about dating during the coronavirus and pandemic is, as I was saying, the restaurants are pretty cheap. And all the expensive ones are pretty much closed or closed for the season for the most part. So you ain't got to worry about like opening your bank wide to go to an expensive restaurant to buy seafood and all this expensive shit that you normally would have to take a girl out. And you ain't got to worry about taking her to the movies, because that's pretty much out the question. You ain't got to worry about doing anything else crazy like that, because all that shit is out the question. And you'll keep your date cheap. Do I condone dating? Not really, no. But if you're gonna be depressed about it, I might as well help you out and get you around. Another good thing you can do is if you prepare food from home and then take it over or have them come over your house and make food at your house. That keeps it way cheap, because in all technicality, if there's leftovers, you can go in your refrigerator and you can eat it for the lunch tomorrow, work tomorrow, whatever the hell tomorrow, basically. Another funny thing about that is, if you do get takeout and you do hang out, you can always go to a park and do a picnic. You can do anything along the lines of that for the most part, if the parks are still open, that is. Which a lot of parks are still open. That's if you're not in a full lockdown state, that is, because there's a lot of states where it's full lockdown, and there's some states where like you have a curfew, and there's other states where it's like you have some restrictions, which is actually really, really nice. Another thing about dating, you can always do Skype dating. That means you ain't gotta leave the house. You can go visit them. You can talk to each other. Read her a romantic poem if you want to. I don't really condone it, but hey, this is just a satirical dating during the pandemic for the most part, for all the people who still want to date and still want to get out there for the most part. Class dismissed. I digress.
Black back, do diamonds on me, go flash this